Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Ability 411. It's Monday, and I'm Tiffany. So, before I get into this week's topic, I just wanted to share with you guys that I just went and saw the new Cirque du Soleil show, OVO, at the Santa Monica Pier, and oh my gosh, it was unbelievable. Like, color, tiff, impressed. Wow. My cousin Brittany and I went, and yeah, wow. Like, regardless regardless of the mess that it took for me to get from the parking, which was like a block. No, it was more than that. It was like a mile down the street to the tent that the show was in. Regardless of that, it was an amazing performance and well worth the hassle to get to the show. But anyway, I digress. This week's topic. So we had some viewers send us some emails and write on our new Facebook fan page that they wanted us to talk about depression. I have to admit, this is a topic that I don't know a whole lot about. I have dealt with a little bit of depression. I have seen depression firsthand with a family member, and I did some research on it. So, like I said in that first video, we're not going to come to you and not do our homework. Okay, so my experiences with depression. I really didn't have any depression during my recovery. I know. What? I didn't. I had the best family and friends in the world. They would not let me get depressed. They're like, we're going to be here with you every step of the way. We're not going to let you get depressed. And yes, I had my down days. I had days where it was a pity party. And I had my wine and cheese. I'm sorry, I had my wine and cheese, and it was like, okay, they came in and kicked my butt, and it was time to get to work. But I never got depressed. I focused those feelings of whatever feelings I was having. Feelings of, okay, this is my life now, and I'm going to use those feelings to help me get to the next day. And I never really thought ahead of the future. I never really thought of, okay, what am I going to do with my life? What do I want to be when I grow up? Because I was only 19 when this happened. I never really thought of that. Things to me were, what am I going to do to get through tomorrow? And I think that didn't enable me to be depressed. And if I ever got down like that, I would get up, get out of bed, go work out. And I use that mentality to this day. If I ever get, sorry, I'm shaking my computer. If I ever get in a funk, I call my family or I call a friend. I use the old phone a friend, and I get pumped up. I get moral support, and I go work out. I'm a gym monkey. I'm in the gym constantly. And talking to one of the other 411 crew, I'm not going to say who it was, but they're like, that might be your way of coping with your depression. It's like, well, I'm not depressed. And they're like, well, look it up. So I did. And they were right. They're like, yeah, overworking is a way of dealing with depression. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. So maybe back then I was depressed, and I was just channeling that into my workout, because look, I would literally be in the gym 6 hours a day if I wasn't PTing or OTing or UTing, whatever I was doing. I was working out. So maybe I was just dealing with working out to not deal with how I was feeling. I don't know. So yeah, I was doing that. I was working out to not deal with my feelings. There we go. Thank you, Dr. Phil, or Dr. Google, in this situation. The one time that I can think of that I know I was depressed, was when my father passed away. And it was like, just dig a hole, throw me in it, cover me with dirt. I'm done. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to eat. I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay here. My father was my everything. He was my best friend. He was the person I would talk to. He was my everything. He was my heart. He was my soul. He was my everything. And he died very, very, very unexpectedly. To hear that, he was riding around on his four-wheeler happy camping one day, and the next day my grandparents come home, or my grandfather comes home, I should say, and he's like, yeah, your dad's gone. It's like, what? I just talked to him yesterday and he was fine. That sent me in a state of mind that I thought I would never, ever come out of. And if you know me personally, you know I never go into a dark place like that. But I had friends that came over and pulled me out of it. My family couldn't do it. I wouldn't let my family anywhere near my best friends at the time to come over and pull me out of it. I don't know why my family couldn't do it. I just didn't want them around me. I think it reminded me too much of my dad. And I didn't want, if I couldn't have him, I didn't want them around me. I don't know why. If that makes sense, I don't know. But my friends were there, and I have five friends that have been in my life for forever, and they were there, and they pulled me out of it. And props to them. They know who they are. But yeah, that's the one time that I've been down that dark road. I didn't go on any medication. I didn't even go see the doctor, in fact. A switch went off to get me like that, and then a switch just came back on one day, and I was kind of fine. And I just got back into my routine, and life went on. And that's how I kind of viewed, or that's how I knew my dad would want it. I took a step back and realized what my dad would want. He wouldn't want me to be crying over him and not living my life, because my dad always wanted me to, get good grades in school and to be the best that I could be at everything, and he wouldn't want me to be moping around and laying in bed and not being the person that he would want me to be. So, yeah, depression sucks. It can lead down some seriously bad paths, and the most serious path, of course, is death. And unfortunately, we have some very young kids nowadays taking their lives. And I think that's awful. I think that is so awful when these beautiful young souls are taking their lives because of bullying or people telling them that they're not beautiful enough or that they'll never be accepted. That can lead to depression. When somebody tells you that you're not pretty enough, or that you're not normal, or that you're not good enough, or that your sexual preference is never going to be accepted, or that your religious preference is not going to be accepted, that can all lead to depression. And depression can lead to suicide, or taking your, suicide and taking your life is the same thing. But you guys know where I'm going with this. And nowadays, there's people you can talk to, there's medicine you can take, there's creative outlets, there's recreational outlets. There's ways to handle it. Nothing is worth taking your life over. Nothing. Trust me. When things seem at their grimmest, most grim, nothing is ever worth taking your life over. It gets better. Trust me, it gets better. I hope you guys have a beautiful week. And as always, leave us comments, leave us video responses if you want to, and send us messages. Check out the Facebook fan page. If you need to speak to anybody, I will post a link to a depression hotline, and I appreciate and adore each and every one of you. And like I said, I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful week, and I will see you next Monday.